Okay, hey y'all, this is Dr. Nashley, Garden Nash, and so y'all know those sweet potatoes I had? We started the other day, actually 2 weeks ago. Now I want y'all to look at them now. We did a little experiment. The one that I cut off, we'll try to see how well that one would grow versus the other ones, how they were positioned on top of the potatoes, sweet potatoes. So I'm about to show y'all what the results are. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Nashley with Garden Nash, and I want to show y'all how I do my sweet potatoes. So I'm out here, it's a lot of pollen out here, but we're just suffering through it right now. We're just gonna power through it right now. I'm feeling pretty good, been taking my allergy medication, and I also have this sweet potato here that this thing started sprouting a little bit just on the kitchen counter. And what I did was I put it in the window. I literally just put it in some water like this and I stuck it into the window. And so the sun, as it shines through the window, all of these started doubling like within the last week. And so I have so many little sprouts here, and each one of these little sprouts is actually a different sweet potato plant. So it's many ways. You see the wind blowing. It's springtime for sure, almost springtime. But we have each sprout, I put it in a separate jar with water, and then I get more yield that way versus if I take this entire sweet potato plant and put it in the ground or in the jar. Now, you could do it either way, in different strokes for different folks, as they say, but this is what I found works best for me. And so also notice that the sweet potato itself provides the nutrients for each one of these little plants here. And so again, all these are pretty huge, but I can show you how it started out. Like this one right here. This is one that is literally just starting out. But all of these started like this on the kitchen counter. So I'm about to take this and show you how I do it. But make sure that you keep some of the sweet potato for the nutrients for the plant, for each plant that you start to tear off. We're gonna put these in the jars, and then hopefully we'll start to see some roots. This is literally how I do it every year for the last 4 or 5 years. All right, let's show you an example here. All right, so I'll start with this one because it's easier to pull apart, stand alone. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife here. Be careful with the knife. Make sure it's sharp enough though. And I'm gonna actually start to cut into the sweet potato. That's probably a better angle. Y'all can tell I didn't go to chef class. There you go. And you can see, like on the other side of the sweet potato, that it's starting to come through. And so what I'm gonna do is, let me chop a little bit more of that off there. All right, so I'm gonna take this piece right here, and I'm gonna pour some water in a jar, like that. And I'm gonna place that over in there like that. So if you notice, the rest of the sweet potato kind of makes it float. If you don't chop off a big enough piece to where it stays above the water, then you can use toothpicks. Sometimes I use toothpicks. I stick them in the sides of the sweet potato and I place it on top of the jar. And you can see some of my old videos. I have a video on how we planted sweet potatoes, how to start sweet potatoes, and how to plant sweet potatoes in a pot. So you can check those out. But this is basically how you do it. And so what we're gonna do, we wanna make sure that the roots are below water. It's okay if a little bit of the plant gets below water, but you're just gonna stick that in there like that. And we're gonna put this in the window, and it's as simple as that. So we'll check back again on that experiment and see how well we do. But I wanna make sure you're at least starting something. This is the easiest thing to get started with, and before you try to transplant it, and you see how far it grows. So right now we're looking at about maybe 2 inches tall, a little bit under 2 inches. And so we'll keep measuring it every week and show you how it happens. All right, y'all, look at this. Do you see the difference here? We got them both right here in the window right here. All right, so we got, that's my Jeep out there, y'all, but we got the one that I cut off. Look at this, y'all. You look at that. Look at how, and look at the roots. You see those white things in there? Those are actually the roots. And this thing has already grown and sprouted versus, look at this one right here. This is the one that we just left alone. I don't see hardly any roots growing there. I also don't have it all the way in the water, but I've known it to be able to root before. But so we are actually gonna continue on with the method, the tried and true. Here they are side by side. So there you have it. By far, the method of cutting each one of these up, putting it in the water, is the best route to go. All right, y'all. So hopefully you saw that and you can find a way to do sweet potatoes this year. Start some sweet potatoes. Again, 2 weeks, you see the huge difference. It's like the other one hadn't even gone that much farther, hadn't grown that much farther, but this is why we do experiments here at the Garden Nash. So remember, the more you know, the more you grow. It's Dr. Nash with the Garden Nash. Have you started your garden yet?